Good evening, Crime Crunchies. Thank you so much for joining me here tonight. I am your host, Courtney C., a 27-year veteran of the media. I am so happy to be able to now bring you Crime Crunchies. Woohoo! All right. Well, I have to say, first of all, so excited. I mean, pinch me. I cannot believe it. First of all, I can't believe Monk's Intrigue even said he would come on my little tiny channel. And B, he did give me a shout out in his video at the end of it today. And I am crazy. If I'm not crazy, I want to be crazy because I don't know. I think I have a screw loose, and that's okay. You never know what's going to happen on each Crime Crunchy episode, but I have to thank him. And if you are new to my channel because of Monks, I'm so excited to have you here. Basically, we go down any theory that makes sense, that has been talked about. We try to take a look at each theory and debunk or cross things off. I'm not afraid to go down any line of questioning. I want to hear every conspiracy theory, any juicy tidbit. The juicier, the better. But yeah, we pretty much have gone on all of the different paths. We have been looking at basically lately, again, we're following where we believe the evidence that we know, and it is all speculation. But right now, until somebody is caught, statistics show, per Dr. Gary Brucato, that an 84-year-old kidnapped from her home, 92% of the time, it's going to be someone in her inner circle. Not naming names, but I mean, I'm sorry. I don't want to hurt the family. I don't want to hurt anyone that's close to her. But until we have some other reasoning or a suspect, that is the likely statistical occurrence. Okay. But tonight we are revisiting Mexico. Why? Well, there's actually a new channel, and I love supporting all my other YouTube creators and collaborators, and love collaborating and all that good stuff, supporting everyone. Thornbridge X Unfiltered had a show last night, and they actually partnered with Patriot Pride, who I've emailed, and they have actually said that they will get on the show. I'm going to work on scheduling them. And Boomer Investigates is going to be on, I think, Monday. I've got to confirm that with him. We haven't confirmed a date, but we are looking at very soon with Boomer Investigates. But Thornbridge Unfiltered, I have to say that Mexico seemed like a nothing burger. All right. Mexico may be a nothing burger, but Jennifer on Thornbridge has a very good point. She interviewed Ramona Guadalupe Ayala Ortiz, who heads up the Buscando Corazones de Nogales. And Ramona has talked with all kinds of people giving tips, cartel, people who have dumped bodies. She's found tons of bodies. She's dealt with families. She's dealt with criminals. She's dealt with anonymous people. And in her opinion, she does feel like the person who called in is credible. Now, I'm not going to share the video. I'll share my screen right now so we have something to look at. But this is your chance. Also, every time I share my screen or change my screen, it's your opportunity to subscribe if you haven't. Wow. It's going, gone. You have to hurry up. Please hit that like button and turn on the notification bell as well, because I do lives about 4 times a week. And you just never know. It's crazy, right? Okay, so again, we're not going to watch the interview because there's an interpreter, and it's interpreting back and forth between English and Spanish, and that's perfectly fine. And Ramona told Jennifer, basically, I will be on and answer any questions you have for as long as you need me to be here. So, I mean, I have to give her props. She's really, and she never asked for money at all. Jen said she never asked for anything. Ramona says, we want to be taken, seriously. We're legitimate and we're here to, help people and find loved ones. Okay. Even if it's a cartel member or a criminal, there's still somebody's, son, daughter, father, brother, sister, whatever. Okay. So basically, again, Ramona is experienced in talking with people who call in on the tip line and then give instructions, directions on where to find the bodies. And in this particular area, it's not like a creek, it's actually a big, wide kind of riverbed. And there's tons of trees with markings. The caller has actually, we were led to believe by the media that the caller had called in twice. According to Ramona, the caller is called in 8 times. Okay. And I even thought, this seems kind of far-fetched at this point. We were very excited when we heard that there had been a tip on Mother's Day. Again, anytime Savannah comes out with a message, somebody does something. So I do want to predict that since Savannah did go live with a message a day or two ago, that we're going to hear something. Someone's going to write into TMZ. Something's going to happen. Okay. It's just the pattern. Every time she comes live or talks about it or does something, someone bubbles up. So getting back to Ramona, it's a big, big area. And this person is called back 8 times. And Jennifer did ask some hard questions of Ramona, like, does this really seem like real? Is a person really going to call in 8 times? Why, if this person is involved with burying the body, why is the person calling in tips? And if he's telling you where to go, you haven't hit the right place. How does he know? Just all kinds of questions. So in a nutshell, according to Ramona, the person who has called in leads in Nogales, telling Buscando de Corazones where to go and look for the body, has identified that they were paid to take the body and bury it in Mexico. They didn't know who it was. They didn't know what it was. But apparently, when they got the body was wrapped in a hotel-like blanket comforter. So that stops me right there. If Porch Guy took Nancy to a second location, where whoever she was with took her somewhere, where is this hotel blanket coming in to the timeline? Okay. If there's a hotel blanket, is law enforcement aware of these tips? Would it have made a difference? Because as far as we know, according to Nonads Bananos, he said that, because he hadn't been reached out to by Mexican authorities, that he would follow up on any legitimate tip, but he hadn't been reached out to by authorities. And that was pretty much it. He just kind of left a cliffhanger there, like, okay, well, they haven't reached out to me, so I guess I'm good. So check. And of course, we don't know what law enforcement has going on. And, this whole thing with this search group kind of died down. It just kind of went away. And again, I thought it was going to be just kind of a nothing burger, bummer. It didn't pan out. But this person has continued to call. And apparently the search group is still out there searching. It's just been so hot. And they have to wait for law enforcement to come with them as protection. So blah, blah, blah. They have to wait, and they haven't been out lately. But, every time they go out, they get different instructions. And again, excuse me, this person, again, was paid to pick up a body. The body is in a hotel blanket. If the body's in a hotel blanket, is there hotel cameras somewhere that somebody needs to be checking into? That's my first question. Okay. So they get it in a hotel. It's in a hotel blanket, but it was buried in a black tarp. And apparently, this person calling in did not look at the body. Again, he's just paid to go bury the body, and where this body is, she's found at least 25 graves, unmarked graves. This is the dumping ground. So think of all the good that has happened for 25 families who thought their loved ones were gone and have now been found, and DNA is matching them up, and people are getting their loved ones back. And I still think that Nancy Guthrie, if she was alive, she would say, well done. Well done, that something good has come out of this, that all these families have been reunited. Okay. So again, this person buried her in a black tarp. And during the interview, Ramona stated that supposedly she's not been given the information on what color the pajamas were, but she was told that the person was wearing like pajama pants and one slipper. There were two slippers, but one of them fell out and was not buried with the body. And that was one of the things that this caller was saying, is if you can find just a random house shoe or slipper, that you're close, but it's in a riverbed, and when it floods, it's going to wash things away. I do think that it's kind of interesting. Would they have seen, if the body was wrapped in a blanket, would they have been able to see pajamas? Would they have been able to, I guess if a slipper fell off, according to Savannah, her mom was taken in the night in her pajamas with no shoes on. So what's the deal with the slippers? We don't know. Again, and Jen says over and over again during this whole thing, she's not saying that this is credible. What she's saying is that Ramona believes this guy is credible that's calling in, and she does not understand why no one from, let alone Tucson, let alone Pima County, let alone Arizona, let alone the United States, has contacted her about this at all. Like, no one has asked anything. No one has called her. She's very confused. She says that she's talked to many, many people, in the line of work that she's doing. And she says this is a real thing. And when Jennifer asked her, if this person is a criminal and he's willing to bury bodies, why does he all of a sudden have a conscience? Why does he continue calling you? Why does he have this regret or conscience on this situation? And Ramona says that apparently in their culture that you do not hurt the elderly. And apparently that is just a no-no. You take care of your elders. Apparently even, a lot of trafficking going on, trafficking children, trafficking young people. Apparently that is not considered taboo, but hurting old people is. And he said that he did not realize she was an old lady. And it wasn't until after the whole thing played out and the media started going on, he realized that he had actually been involved with the old lady from Tucson, and he's trying to help her find and return the body anonymously to her family. Okay. So again, is Mexico still in play? I don't know. And we're not going to know. What really sucks is that Nanos, he's just not doing anything. But even the FBI isn't doing anything. And I would have to say the only reason why I can't imagine that they're not following up with Ramona is maybe they do know something. Maybe they know and have enough information going on in the background that they know that this is bunk. I'm hoping that that is the case, and that's why they haven't followed up on this. I'm hoping that they're further along in, the whole situation, that this is a nothing burger. But I have to give Jennifer kudos to, getting a family friend from when she lived in Texas. She has a family friend who helped interpret. And for Buscando Corazones, really spending the time and going through this whole questioning. And, I do believe that, Ramona deals with us enough that she's going to recognize when things are bunk or not bunk. So that has to tell me that until somebody is caught, we have a mugshot, we have an arraignment hearing, we have a perp walk, we've got matching DNA. That tells me that it technically needs to stay on the table. There's no reason to take, a Mexico contact off of the table. So, I was going to focus a lot on that tonight. And I also wanted to go through Savannah's message again, because in yesterday's episode, I went through, yesterday was Cam. The day before, I went through Savannah's latest message on Instagram, and I analyzed, frame by frame, word for word, what I was interpreting from Savannah, because Savannah does talk and double talk. And actually, Brian Enton interviewed somebody today, and I wanted to talk about him because he also included in his video today some information. And I don't want to play it. I'll probably play the portion about the person talking about Savannah and her message. But I thought it was interesting that Brian Enton talked about this young man who actually got an interview with Sheriff Nanos. And just listening to Nanos and his word salad and his double speak, it makes me nuts. The way he talks about, thousands of cars and hundreds of thousands of hours of video. And I just don't believe Nanos on when he says he's got thousands of hours of video that they have to go through, and they've got tons of DNA that they're waiting on, and they're, getting into the family genetic DNA stuff. There is more and more AI solutions out there for police departments to get, where you literally can dump all your video into an AI machine learning solution. One of them is called eSleuth, and Dr. Ann Burgess is one of the co-founders or owners of eSleuth, where you can dump all your video and AI will go through all your video, and you can tell it, look for cars between this time and this time. And within minutes, maybe a couple hours, you should have something that comes out the other end where you've got all your cars identified. In certain time, you could put colors of car, like that white car that was seen in the neighbor's ring camera that was 2.5 miles away from Nancy's, and they had asked for ring camera within 2-mile radius. And they could put all of that in. And I bet you anything, eSleuth would be happy just for future sales to probably run all their video. I want to remind everybody that Texas EquiSearch, Twyla, had offered to take all of the drone footage for free. Send me all your drone pictures, images, video, send me everything for free. No one has to come there. You don't have to come here. Shoot it over. We're going to plug it into our AI solution. They use something called Locate. And if we knew what color her pajamas were, which is very possible, if Savannah knew Nancy left in her jams, maybe we knew what color they were. Maybe Annie could have said, yeah, that was her purple set, whatever. They can take all the images from all the drones, from volunteers, law enforcement, dump them all into Locate, tell them, look for anything that has the color purple. And Locate in a beep, beep, boop, boop, beep, beep, boop, boop, boop. There's my robot again. Beep, beep, boop, boop. Chickles was liking my beep, beep, boop, boop. She was saying that earlier. So yes, the robot sound. So after you beep, beep, boop, boop, it computes and it comes out with identifying all pictures that have the color purple in it. And then it will find by pixel and you can zero in on it and it gives you coordinates. So then Twyla, for free, can get on the bat phone and call stupid Nanos and say, look, if you go to Lat Long, we found some purple. Can you, maybe if you could be bothered, if you're not busy driving around your Corvette with the top off at 110, you're looking all hot, then maybe if you go and have someone go and check this, we found some purple and it looks like it could be, well, and there have been pajama bottoms. There were some beige pants found behind Annie and Tommaso. Interesting. And I think I recall, wasn't it JLR who found those pants and they called Pima County and it took like forever, like days before somebody came and got them. I mean, just ridiculous. So, all right. So let's watch this young gentleman out of Canada who got an interview with Nanos for just a few minutes, and then we'll switch over and watch him talking to this other guy about Savannah's message. And I have to say, all these FBI guys, it's so obvious what's going on. And yet in the interview, and Brian Enton he tries to be so fair. He will not go there. He won't poke the bear. And we all know the elephant in the room is family involved. Okay, who is she talking to? And I love Brian Enton. I'm so happy I got to meet him at CrimeCon. He's such a sweetie, but he just doesn't really go there. So, all right, let's go ahead and let me shut up, quit yapping, and let's watch a few minutes of this, and then we'll fast forward.
I had asked the sheriff if he has had any communication with Savannah Guthrie and listened to what he said.
You mentioned Savannah. Have you spoken to her recently? She released that video yesterday, and I think a lot of people are probably wondering what the status is of the relationship between your office and the family.
Well, our relationship is a good relationship. I mean, these are tough times. But no, I've not spoken with Savannah recently. She has my contact number, as you and the rest of the world seems to have. But she's very gracious, and she doesn't need to contact the sheriff. She needs a team that she's very well aware of that works with her, and she's in contact.
So in nano speak, basically what this is he says, no, she won't have anything to do with me because I'm an idiot. I'm an imbecile. I'm incapable. I'm intolerable. I'm dumb. And then what he does is he tells you, yeah, she won't have anything to do with me. And then he comes in with his narcissistic rationalization, telling you, well, it's because she has a team that she can call anytime. And he slips in here and he says, no, she'd be talking to the FBI. And I really, 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 really think in my super stupid alien lizard brain that I feel like the FBI is running this thing because Nanos is really incompetent. It's really incompetent.
With them at any moment of day, any time of day that she needs to.
So apparently it is not the sheriff who is communicating with Savannah Guthrie, which is interesting to think about. And I would imagine it is someone from the FBI. And I have learned that her latest video, which again, I'll get to in a second, sort of dissecting that, but that was done in conjunction with law enforcement and likely someone from the FBI. So I guess it's not the sheriff who has been in communication with Savannah at all, which wouldn't surprise me in terms of just like daily updates, but I would think at some point, since he is technically the person in charge of the Nancy Guthrie investigation, he's at the top and it is his department who's in charge and it's her mom who's missing. I guess I would have thought that they would be having some level of communication, and it does sort of make me wonder what that relationship is like behind the scenes. But
yeah, one would think if he's leading, if Pima County's leading the investigation, he should be able to talk to her or representative of the family, and he hasn't in a really long time. But he is so narcissistic and delusional that he probably believes what he tells himself, that it isn't him. It's not his fault.
we just have to take the sheriff at his word, what he said there. Something else he talked about was the DNA, and this is something that I've done several episodes on. I knew that there were several private labs working on the DNA, and remember there was DNA found inside the home. There's a hair that was found. There's mixed DNA, and that it's been difficult to sort of crack. The sheriff is now saying that there's multiple private labs working this, and that the technology is evolving every day. And he sounds almost hopeful when it comes to the possibility of a DNA breakthrough in the case at some point.
This is where I think little baby Brian, cutie pie Brian, I don't think he's naive. I think he's very intelligent. But if he really is believing anything that the sheriff is saying, someone needs to sit you down and give you a little hug.
I'll listen to what he said.
I think what you were asking is, are we at familial type of DNA, not just our genetic DNA?
Yeah.
Are we doing something to find, maybe it's the second cousin that, what I would tell you is both. We're doing all of it. And that's really, the labs are doing it all. They're looking at genealogy, but they're also looking at specific pieces of evidence that they're hoping to get enough codi to say, this is who we're looking at. It's probably more complex than we want to get into, but I'll say this. The communication with our labs is ongoing. It's daily. They know the technology. They know that, for example, a lab in Kansas might be on the verge of something new, groundbreaking over here, where there's a lab in LA that's on the groundbreaking of. They're just working the case as a priority, and they're working it nationwide.
I just have to stop. I can't listen to him anymore. I really was going to give him more time, but honestly, I mean, he's talking about like tons of DNA and tons of things going on with the DNA, and I don't know. I personally am not. I'm not sitting here waiting on the DNA. I don't know if you guys are sitting waiting on the DNA. Maybe they have a suspect and they need the DNA in order to tie somebody and put them in the house that night. And that's great. But I don't know. I really don't think he really knows what's going on. So I just can't with him anymore. And so we're going to just fast forward for just a few minutes and talk about, take a look at this, and I don't remember his name, but he's analyzing with Brian Savannah's Instagram video, and I'm really interested in rewatching this because I definitely felt like the video was Savannah absolutely talking to Porch Guy. My theory on Savannah's note is that the family has done what they said that they were going to do, and I don't think it's them paying money. I think that the family or law enforcement is going to stand by and give some sort of a deal to Porch Guy. But Porch Guy, we need you to do the right thing now. We need you to tell us where Nancy is and we will, we'll do what we said we were going to do. And we're never going to stop looking for our family, which I believe equals law enforcement is never going to stop looking, and they're going to find you. So please take the deal, do the right thing. We need to let this end, because it's got to be really difficult on, if Porch Guy really could get in a lot of trouble at this point, he needs to be smart. The first one who squeals deals. So let's just take a look at this expert.
To see you. I'm actually in Nancy Guthrie's neighborhood right now. That's kind of what the backdrop is. I was curious. I wanted to talk to you about this new Savannah Guthrie video that came out. I've learned that it was in coordination with law enforcement, which is really no surprise. The word seemed very sort of carefully chosen. What was sort of your overall takeaway?
The wording of her response appeared to be consistent with principles that I used in hostage negotiations. Now, I'm not saying that the Bureau was involved in doing this, but her message, it acknowledged receipt of communications. It didn't escalate tensions. It didn't make any threats. It didn't challenge the offender.
Well, and he just hinted at something, because again, if he's ex-FBI, he's going to be very careful how he answers these questions. He's not going to play a card and get in trouble. So what he's basically just told us is there has been more communication with somebody behind the scenes, and law enforcement scripted these words for Savannah to read, to tell, to say, to share. And again, the way Savannah was speaking, it's almost like in response to a previous conversation. And this is really good news, because Brian Enton in this video tonight or today, he even says his contacts have told him they don't have a person. I don't believe that. I really don't believe it. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. I think Brian Enton's contacts are in Pima County, because he got close with them, because he was boots on the ground. They let him in the perimeter during the SWATs. And I think those are his contacts, and they will take his phone calls and they will answer him. But they've been told to not share anything on, threat of being fired and blackballed forever. They're never going to tell anyone that they have somebody. And I still go back to Maureen O'Connell. I really, really think, and maybe it's because I'm hopeful, but I really think that she's got somebody who trusts her enough. She knows when to keep her mouth shut. And I don't know. I feel, and again, I love Brian Enton. I don't think he watches my tiny show. I would never, ever, ever want to, but I don't know if he tries to be so fair that he doesn't interpret things. And maybe that's the right way to do it. But I am an interpreter, and I'm going to go with what I really think is happening. And I don't think that he should be believing whoever's talking to him.
It projected cooperation. And I think it left a lot of flexibility for law enforcement if they're listening. I'm not going to say that the FBI crafted this. It doesn't necessarily mean that the FBI wrote this statement, because it's an active kidnapping investigation. So when you have that, things like this are usually going to be closely coordinated with investigators.
What about the timing of it? Because, Savannah has put out videos here and there, but there hasn't been one in a long time. And when she's talked about it a couple times on the Today Show, it was more just casual, what she's going through. But as you said, this one, the wording seemed very specific. It seemed like it was deliberate, what she was trying to do. And do you think there's a reason that this was just put out now?
It could be coincidental.
No, it's not. No, it's not coincidental. This is him trying to play nice because, he's drank the Kool-Aid of the feds. And no, this is not coincidental. And again, every time Savannah has done something, there's a response.
Or it could have been planned. That's a great question. It's anything I would tell you would just be speculation with that. But families sometimes use these public statements as kind of like a controlled communication channel, and the offender, and this usually happens when when the investigators believe that the offenders are listening to the media. So whether or not the intent was to publicly confirm that, it's very difficult to say.
She started out by saying, I have a very specific message. It almost like, I took that, and you tell me what you thought, but I took that as, if you're the person out there, this is for you. This isn't just like my other messages where I'm just talking to everybody.
Now, she was talking to the person she believed was responsible for taking her mother, or persons at this point. Yeah, it was very specific. And she even said, you can always do the right thing. There's always time to do the right thing. And she made that very clear.
And she said, the world can be cruel. I know you tried to do things the right way. Like, I guess, what do you think is going on there?
Well, when you look at the notes, the initial notes, there's a couple notes. The first one's asking for money.
I'm sorry. I don't know who this person is. I'm going to ban and delete. I don't like people arguing with Crime After Dark about green screen, so they're gone.
And asking for Bitcoin. Don't get law enforcement involved. They're not going to be able to help you. And then the second one came, and it was more apologetic. Hey, listen, I'm sorry, but we didn't understand or know that your mother was in such bad physical shape, and she's passed away, and she's buried in nature. So I think Savannah is probably relating that information that was in those notes to her comments.
Trying to say, I'm just going back to when she says, I know you tried to do the right things. I know you tried to do things the right way. Obviously, does she really believe that? Or is that just something the FBI is telling her to say? Like, I guess I'm trying to understand what she means by that. I know you tried to do things the right way.
Yeah, I'm not going to try and put words into the Bureau. The Bureau was behind this. Again, that's speculation. Although that any statement that's made in an active investigation is usually done in conjunction with law enforcement. But what she's saying, you have to understand is, I want this individual to come forward. I want this individual to let us know where Nancy Guthrie is buried, so that we can recover the remains of Nancy Guthrie, if in fact she is.
Yeah, I don't think you guys realize no one's messing with Lisa. Obviously, you know what? I don't have moderators because I have no problem as long as people aren't rude. I have no problem with people saying whatever they want. I think we need to have an open mind, and everybody should share any thought. Every thought is welcome. But if people start poking at my peeps, it ain't going to happen. So I don't know. Maybe it's time to get a moderator. I know. Yeah, Lisa, I've got you. No, you guys don't need to behave. You need to be yourselves, but you guys don't troll. It's other people who come in and troll. So anyway, we've kind of got the idea here with the lovely Brian Enton, but there's no one who saw that video from Savannah a regular average intelligent person saw the video with Savannah and knew exactly that she was talking to somebody in particular. She had specific information, and this guy on the left can, you know, can downplay everything and try to keep everything vanilla. And Brian can think the best of everybody and think that everybody's being honest, but they're not, and they never will be. So we're just going to move on now. Oh no, this guy has this guy, green screen. He's back. This guy has 20, I bet you anything. He's from oh, I can't think of it. And again, it isn't a show until I forget. He's back. Maybe we should just ignore him because he obviously has 100. Yes. Oh, do you know who this guy is? Tax is here. He's awful. Apparently Tax has a reputation. Really? Tell me. So this guy keeps showing up and green screen. He's just, I'm not sure what. All right. What he's doing is he's taking, here he is again. Oh my goodness. He's got 20 million. Oh no, this guy, he's got 20 million YouTube personalities. All right. How about we just ignore him? He's just saying green screen. Let's just let him say green screen a million times. Let's make a game of it. Let's see how many times he says green screen or the word green. Let's just have fun with it. We can't get rid of him. He's like VD. Okay, well, we're just going to let him, he'll get bored eventually. Let's see, watch Nikki live. I've never heard of it. See, there's so many users. There's so many channels to watch. Green screen. Hey, you know what? Whoever this is, we like green screen. It's a song, green screen. You know what? So one thing I wanted to do tonight, I know we've gone through this and we've seen it a million times, but the analysis that I did of Savannah's Instagram post the other night, I felt like she was talking to Porch Guy, but there are a lot of people saying that it sounded like she could have been talking to like Tommaso. And I did email Tucson 857 and I asked him if he knows or he's heard of A&T are back in town, because I have no idea if A&T are back in town. Are they still gone? Is he going back to school, to teach? As what's going on with that? And somebody had mentioned that, she has a line, Savannah has a line of, you can come back home. So I do want to pull it up. Instagram. All right. I'm going to pull it up somewhere. Just be patient. Savannah Guthrie. I'm gonna pull up her thing. Let's pull it up. Oh Lord. The Trouble with Tribbles. You guys ever heard of The Trouble with Tribbles? It's a Star Trek thing. These little tribbles, they kept multiplying and multiplying. I think that green screen, let's just call him green screen. Green screen is The Trouble with Tribbles. All right, so let's watch. Okay, let's watch Savannah's thing again. I know we've seen it a million times, but I want to watch it. I'm going to listen very carefully, and I'm going to see now if I can analyze if she's talking to A&T. All right.
A very specific message.
Very specific.
It has been months since our mom was taken from us. Our family is in agony. We are in a nightmare that will not end. Nothing about our situation has changed. We have done our part, and we will never stop looking for her. We will always ache for her and feel that hole in our hearts. The world can be a cruel and unforgiving place, and I know that you have tried to do things the right way. So I'm asking you, begging you to do the right thing now. Make the right choice. Help us find her. Tell us where to look for her. I truly believe it is never too late to do the right thing. Help us bring this situation to an end. For all of us, no matter where we've been and what we've done, I believe there is always a way home. Please make the right choice.
So, I mean, honestly, she could be dealing with her sister who has been betrayed by T. I do feel like she could be, I mean, I could see a part of this where she's talking to T. A way home. And when I look at her, she could be sick. If her sister was not in on this, she's a victim twice over. If T is behind this and A is not involved. I mean, she says our family, our family, she's being inclusive. Let's see. I'm trying to find, it was somebody saying that he is teaching or he's not teaching, because they took all of the staff off of the school page. Sorry, I was just seeing something. Shiny object. Okay. So they took all the staff off of the school page. And yeah, there is more in the family besides A&T. So our family. But I mean, if you look at her face, I could see somebody with this kind of expression, just kind of like, she looks like she's talking to someone she knows. When you're sitting and you're counseling somebody, it's like she's trying to just, I don't know. I feel like there is, when I look in her face, I do feel like there is, I could see her talking to somebody that she does know. Let me keep going with this.
I'm coming on today with a very specific message. It has been months since our mom was taken from us. Our family is in agony. We are in a nightmare that will not end. Nothing about our situation has changed. We have done our part, and we will never stop looking for her.
And again, this is where, when she says we will never stop looking for her, I think that's code for law enforcement is never going to stop. This is never going to end for you. This is never going to end for you. You're going to have to hide for the rest of your life. This is never going to end. And guess what? It sucks when you're on the lam. And I know this because I put the crime in Crime Crunchies when I am doing a member appreciation on August 1st, and YouTube says I should not be doing it. Gingerbread. Oh my God. I think that this guy with the green screen, and I think he's 10. He's probably 12. I think he's a 12-year-old. Okay. So I'm sorry, I'm not going to look at that anymore. She looks very defiant, but this look on her face right now, we're never going to stop looking for our mother. She's looking, her eyes are open. She's looking at him like, dude, if you think it sucks now that you're hiding and you're paranoid, dude, we will never stop. We will never stop.
We will always ache for her and feel that hole in our hearts. The world can be a cruel and unforgiving place.
So this is where she's addressing, again, something happened to this person. I feel like, were they bullied? They were bullied. They were not given the attention they needed. They were not given the platform they needed. There's just something that this person is railing against. It's a cruel place. And again, I do feel like there's a lot of resentment in the fact that the entire, other half of the family, other than A&T, have, they have money. They have money coming in. They have wealth coming in, and everybody is getting, good things, freedom, money, everything. But A&T are at home, living paycheck to paycheck, and it sucks. I'm taking care of mom. None of them are here taking care of mom. None of them are running her to her heart appointments and blah, 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 and blah, 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 and the food and the groceries and the this and the laundry and just everything. And, when you have chronic pain like that, a lot of times people get these injections, ablations. I get them in my neck. I get them in my lower back for nerve damage and spine issues. And guess what? When you get those injections, your spouse is sitting in a waiting room every time you get one of those for like 3 hours. Annie is sitting while this is all speculation, but that's not fun, having to take away from your time and do all of those things that it takes to be a caregiver. It's not glamorous. There's no ticker tape parade. And A&T are doing all the hard work, and then you've got America's sweetheart out there. Oh, we love Savannah. Here, go host the Olympics. And Cam, who's a freaking maverick on Top Gun. Okay. Living the high life. You don't think someone, and it may not even be so much Annie. Annie could be a submissive. She could be a submissive person who is, under a stronger personality, and you can get brainwashed by somebody. You can be controlled by somebody. You can buy into things. We don't know any dynamics. We were talking yesterday in my Cam episode about, where's Cam? Why hasn't he really come up front? He wasn't in, the walk down the driveway to the memorial. He only had, he only said one thing in that one video on Instagram where he said, "Where's our mom?" We didn't see any pictures of Cam with Tommaso. Lisa, who is this? Yeah, I'm sorry, Lisa. Let's try to get rid of this person. Yeah, please, Lisa, please ignore them. They have a million they don't No, please don't leave, Lisa. We'll make him stop. Just ignore him, okay? He's probably 12. Okay, I'll watch, and if I see him pop up again, I'll make him go away. Okay, so let's just continue because she's very expressive in her eyes, and I do feel like I really feel like she's talking to somebody. She's really talking to
I
somebody.
know that you have tried to do things the right way. So I'm asking you, begging you to do the right thing now. Make the right choice. Help us find her. Tell us where to look for her. I truly believe it is never too late to do the right thing. Help us bring this situation to an end. For all of us, no matter where we've been and what we've done, I believe there is always a way home.
Yeah, and this is where I feel like she's really trying, and unless she's just an actress and she's really doing a good job selling whatever it is that she's selling. Okay, whoever she's talking to, she seems really very, very genuine. And it does seem odd that Cam, and he could be just a very private person. Not everybody likes the limelight. And I agree. She does. She looks really tired. And not in a bad way. Good Lord, how could you even go through this? But I have to give her so many props. I just don't even know how she's putting one foot in front of the other. I just feel like there's such an opportunity for her to have been out in front, but again, I know she does not go rogue. She is following orders, not Nanos, the feds. She's working with someone that she trusts in the feds, and they told her to put this note out, and she's not going to go rogue. This is specific. There is communication going on in the back end, and they have to know who Porch Guy is. They have to know enough information. Where is she going to find information that the world is a cruel and unforgiving place? Where are they getting that? Is this a profiler that's saying that chances are this is somebody who was bullied and felt like he was not being treated equally? Is this if they're talking about Tommaso and he's so resentful of the fact that everybody has what he doesn't have? Is that where she's coming from, the cruel? And because the world is cruel, life isn't fair. We're not all dealt the same hand, but there's no reason and it needs to end. Law enforcement is never going to stop. And I do believe that at this point, law enforcement is not going to stop just out of tenacity. I should do a poll. Yeah, that's a good idea. Let me see if I can do that really quick. Let me go to my channel. I'll do a poll. Let me turn off this. Yes, because it's live. Oopsie. Turn that off. Let me do a poll. Let me see if I can figure out how to do a poll. Come on, thingy. Talk amongst yourselves. I'm going to see if I can do a poll. Do you think porch guy A-N-T O-T lizard man? Okay, there we go. All right, I have put the poll up. Oh, let's see. We'll see if everyone. All right, while we're having people answer that, I hope Lisa's still here. Did Lisa leave? Lisa, let me know if you're still there. Who is Lizard Man? It could be anyone who's connected with the scientists, okay? Lizard people, aliens, and that's where we kind of got that from. Okay, let's see if we have. Yeah, I'm afraid she probably left. I'll get with her later. While we are doing this, thank you again. For anybody who is new, please hit the subscribe, the notification bell, and the like button. I would love it if you hit the like button. This is a no member, no super chat, no super sticker zone. I want you to go buy groceries. But if you have become a member, I appreciate it so much. August 1st, I am doing a member appreciation to give back to my members. I'm so humble. I'm going to be doing a spin the wheel and giving away a $20 gift card to one lucky winner. So thank you. And I do have a few new winners. And on the first of the month, I have a few free memberships to give away. So I will do that. And let's see what we've got. Well, so far, Annie, A&T. So she's talking to both. More people think she's talking to both. Because there's still a part of me that's hopeful that A is just an unwitting victim in this, and perhaps being controlled, coercive control. But, you know, like Dr. Brucato has said, that whoever's behind this is a wolf in sheep's clothing. And, you know, if we don't know, people walk amongst us. How many criminals have we seen mugshots of, and you're like, wow, that's a good looking person, female, male, whatever. It's like, wow, they're really attractive. It doesn't matter. They can, you know, they can be a 10 on the outside, and they could be the devil on the inside. All right. So tomorrow night, so excited to have Monks on. Yes. And at the end of Monk's video, I started like jumping around. I could not believe it. He gave a shout out and showed a bit of my video. And yes, I am weird. I can't help it. Like I've said, I don't have an inner monologue, and I have very, very poor impulse control. Okay. And that's just how it is. You kind of get what you get with me, you know, and I try to keep it real. And, you know, this is all speculation, but I am going to go down every theory that is logical. I do use ChatGPT. I'm not going to apologize for it. It does a lot of research for me. And, you know, yeah, maybe it's not 100%. It's not completely accurate, but guess what? We don't have much to go on, and we're all here. We're all invested because we want to know what happened to Nancy. We want Nancy returned. And hi, Warden June. It's so nice to see you in a live. Usually you just comment, and you must have started late, because if you hang out a little bit longer, I don't like spending a lot of time doing a bitch fest about Nanos. He does not deserve it. So anyway, I am going to let you guys go. Tomorrow night, 9 p.m. Central, we're starting really late, 7 Pacific, 10 Eastern. Monks, 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 monks. I am so jazzed. And then I'm going to try to get Boomer on Monday. He's retired law enforcement, and I'm hoping that Boomer can be my collaboration law enforcement person, because there's so many things I want to pick his brain about, and I'm hoping he'll come back time and time again. And then Patriot Pride, we'll get that scheduled. So, well, thank you, everybody. I love all the positivity. I appreciate everything, all your support. You have no idea. I have spent the last 5 months feeling imposter syndrome. And so to see so many new people and so many positive, the positive vibe is just, you have no idea, seriously, how much I appreciate. You guys are my people. You're my peeps. So, all right, you guys, have a good evening. We'll see you tomorrow night with monks, Toki and Zosha. We'll get to meet. So I will catch you on the flip side. Toodaloo.